Starting with the name of Allah, the most compassionate and most merciful. Dear students, let me first present you the prophetic words, that is Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am really glad to be here once again in delivering my lecture number 6, that is regarding the motivation. So we'll be discussing about what is motivation, what are the types of motivations, and how this motivation play a major roles in the life of peoples. So as there is a great quotations regarding the motivation, there is a quotations like, as it is said, that a great man is one who can make a small man feel great and perform great. So in this quotation everything is visible and clearly. It is stated that the big man, the biggest man, the greatest man is the one who make the small people to feel great and make these small people to perform the great. So how is it possible that to make the small peoples and to make a small people that they feel great and do the greatest works? It is only possible by giving them a motivation to those who are lower or smaller than us. The lower and smaller would be the higher and greater performer of the work. It's only be possible by giving them the motivations. So what does the word motivation means? Motivation comes from the word motive, which means needs, desires, wants or drive within the individual, which means to move. The term motivation literally means to move or to energize or to activate. In this sense, anything that is responsible for internal and external activity may be called motivations. So motivation refers to the process that initiates and sustains and direct our behaviors. Motivation means to go ahead, achieve your targets, to move, to energize, to activate yourself, and direct you to achieving of your targets. It is the process of stimulating the people to action to accomplish the goals. پروسه تحریک کردن افرادی هستند که توسط این باز انسان متحرک میشه، فعالیت خود انجام میده به طرف به دست آوردن اهداف مشخصشان. In the work goal context, the psychological factors stimulating the people's behavior can be desired for money, success, recognition, job satisfaction and teamwork. So many of us are working behind this. Like some people want to become doctor, some want to become politicians, some want to become scientists, some want to become economists, some want to become dramatist, some want to become actor or actress. So there is a motive behind why these people want to become these, because there is a motive behind this scenario, because there is a motivation behind this. That's why someone want to become a doctor. So one of the most important function of management is to create willingness amongst the employee to perform in the best of their ability. Therefore, the role of leader is to arouse interest in performance of employee in their jobs. As we see that motivation itself is a management tools that is being used in the organizations to motivate the employee and just to show their best of their interest, to do their best work in the organization and to perform their great works, and finally the employee achieve their targets in their jobs. So it is defined differently by different psychologists. It is defined as a driving force motivation that initiates and directs our behaviors. یک قوی هستن، خود انگیزه و تشویق یک نوع از قوی هستن که انسان را متحرک می سازه و او را راهنمایی می کند به طرف اهداف، به دست آوردن اهداف خودش. So motivation is a kind of internal energy which drives a person to do something in order to achieve something. If we would like to achieve something, we have to go for that. We have to start the journey for that. Starting the journey, going after some things and achieving something the target that we have selected for ourselves, it needs a motivation. We need to be motivated, then we will go and start our journey. If we are not motivated, so definitely we will not be going for achieving of that target. Like for example, children are almost being motivated from their parents' side and mother to go to school and attend a great grade to get the position, and the father then tell them that I would buy you a bicycle, I will take you to this place if you got a great marks in your class. So this is what taking of high grade in a class or taking a position in a class by the student, by children's, there is a motivation behind that. There is a motive behind that mother and father direct the children to achieve the targets. So motivation refers to states within the organism that drive the behavior towards some goals, or motivation is the set of reasons that determine one to engage in a particular behaviors. So it's defined differently by different social scientists. As well, the nature of motivation. Motivation is an unending process. It never ends. If one target you achieve, next needs will arise and you will go for that. So this process will not end. It is a psychological concept. If you would like to motivate somebody, you have to work on the psychology of that person, on the mind of that person. So that's why we say it's a psychological concept. It is concerned with each and every individual of organizations. It is always blocked, hampered by frustrations. Motivation is always blocked and hampered by the word if the person is disappointed or frustrated. Motivation is always leading the person to achieve the goal. So that's why we say motivation leads to the goals. Now, what are the importance of motivations? Motivation is very important in achievement of our targets of organizations, in achievement of our targets of our individual and groups. If there is no motivation, there is no target achievements. There is no pleasures and prosperity even in the life of an individual, in life of an organization, in the life of groups. So it leads to high level of performance of organizations. If you motivate the employee, the performance of your employee of organization will be upgraded and will be high. So a motivated employee stay in the organization more and their absenteeism is quite low. If you the absenteeism اگر ما یک کارمند همیشه تشویق کنیم که کار انجام بده، همه ضرورت‌های را پورا کنیم، نظر به این که غیر حاضری کنه و حاضریشان زیاد می باشد. So willingness of employee is to work hard. We are going to make them to work hard. It's because of the motivation. Drive to the best result of the goals. It is important that how to get the result, our result the best. So we need to motivate the members. This motivation is helping in building good labor relationship. The good relationship will take place in the organizations because we are being motivating each other, not disgrading each other. So this motivation is itself an important management tools. خودی تشویق یا انگیزه یک از مهمترین وسیله های مدیریت است که توسط این ما افراد را مدیریت میکنیم و به یک طرف درست سوق میکنیم آنها تا که اهداف اداری به دست بیارن. So motivation improves the relation between manager and employees. Very simple. This motivation decreases wastage and accident. This motivation puts human resource into actions as well improve the level of efficiency of employee. So this will lead to increase in productivity, reducing the cost of operation and improve overall efficiency. It will all happens because of the motivations. If it does not happens because there is no motivation in the employee and no targets of organization would be achieved easily if the motivation of employee does not take place in organizations. Now, motivation is important to individual. Bafard Mohimas, motivation will help him to achieve his personal goal. Motivation is helpful if an individual is motivated, he will have a job satisfactions. Motivation will help in self-development of individual, and an individual would always gain by working with a dynamic team. So it's important for individual If an individual want to become a dynamic person, want to become a developed person, self-development take place, and he is more satisfied from the job, then that is what that person motivation is important for individual, as well as motivation leads to achievement of organizational goal as well, is important for organization as well. So the goal of an enterprise or a company can be achieved only when the following factor take place. There is best possible utilization of resources, there is cooperating working environment, the employees are goal directed and they act in a purposive manner. As well, goals can be achieved if coordination and cooperation take place simultaneously at the same times, which can effectively done through the motivation. It is not only important for the individual, but this motivation is very much important for organization as well, to run smoothly, to work smoothly theirs, and the best possible utilization of resources take place, and a cooperative environment is being cultured there in the organization. Finally, what will happen? The achievement of goals will be easily achieved by the organizations if there is implied motivation within organization. If not, organization is facing with failure. So motivation is important to our business as well. So the more motivated the employee or the more empowered the team is. The more is the teamwork and individual employee contribution, more profitable and successful the business will be. Motivation will lead to optimistic and challenging attitudes at the workplace. Now, there is a process from where the motivation starts, and there is an ending process as well where the motivation ends. But since it is unending process, because of the needs of humans, this unending process will continue. Again, a person will be motivated for doing something. So the process of motivation consists of 3 stages. First, there is the feeling of needs. احساس ضرورت باید باشه. انسان چی وقت تشویق انگیزه برش پیدا میشه، تشویق میشه که کار انجام بده وقتی که احساس ضرورت کنه. For the first stage in motivation process, that is felt need or drive. Secondly, a stimulus in which need have to be arose. Now you have to یک منبع تنبیه کننده ضرورت هستند که ما شما را متحرک بسازه و ما بداریم به خاطر اون ما هدف به دست بیاریم. And thirdly, when needs are satisfied, the satisfaction or accomplishment of goals, therefore motivation is a psychological phenomenon, which means needs and wants of the individual have to be tackled by framing an incentive plans. So in motivation process, these 3 things are very much important, as we see here the motivation process in these pictures. First, we feel needs. Once we feel need, this need will create tension in us, in humans. Now, for the relief of these tensions, you are forced to, compelled to drive for start action, start searching for that behaviors. After you feel that it's very important for me, you have to start searching for that. When you start searching for that, you will get your targets. When you get your targets, your needs will be satisfied. So once the need is satisfied, the tension which comes here, that tension will be released and there will be the reduction of the tension. That's how the motivation process takes place. But the very much important things in motivation process, it is first is you have to need the feels and needs. If you don't feel needs, then you will not be compelled to go after that. First you have to feel needs. After this feeling of needs will compel you to go and find the sources, the behavior, search for it in order to finally get your targets. This is also a motivation process. A very simple example is here. First is need. This need may be because of physiological or psychological lack or deficiency. So once you feel this physiological, psychological deficiency, then individual will be very much careful now to behave in a certain manner to go ahead in order to achieve and fulfill this physiological and psychological deficiency, which is called drive or motive. Finally, when the person is following a certain manner for achieving of their targets, then they will go for achieve a particular goals. When a person achieve a particular goals, it is like an incentive for the such persons. So this is the whole motivation process that takes in 3 stages. Now, types of needs. We have needs. There are some needs. Types of needs are there. So the fundamental needs for our existence are oxygen, water, and food. انواع needs या ज़रूरत है सनमा biological need दारे. What is biological needs? The fundamental needs for our existence are oxygen, water, and food. بخاطر زنده ماندنی موشما ضرورت های اساسی موشما کی هستند اکسیژن است، آب است و غذا هستند. Need for rest when tired, being active when resting, needs of sleep. وقتی که خسته شدیم ما به آرام ضرورت داریم. Regular elimination of waste product, what is not required in our body, we have to eliminate them, we have to remove from our body. Protect from threats of internal environmental disasters and sensory needs, which are demands of our senses for survival, internal body temperature and sex. These all comes in biological needs. While we are also having a socio-psychological need as well in the society. This is what the need of freedom or independence, need of security, need of love and affections, need to achieve, need of social company, and need for recognition or social approval. This is what the psychological needs. So these psychological needs or those biological needs is compelling the persons to follow a certain particular behaviors to achieve a particular targets, and finally the release of tension. The release of tension will take place. Now, what is motivation, incentive? What is motivation, incentive? Incentive to motivate, imply. Now we define what is incentive. Incentive is an act or promise for greater action. It is also called as a stimulus to greater actions. Incentive means additional remunerations or benefit to an employee in recognition of achievements or better works. Or incentive is a natural thing that nobody acts without a purpose behind. Therefore, a hope for a reward is a powerful incentive to motivate employees. Besides monetary incentive, there are job satisfaction, job security, job promotion, and pride for accomplishment. These are all the examples of incentives. So incentives, it is a sort of a promise with a person that a person will do the great work and finally you will give him an incentive. इंसेंटिव माना बखातरीन ما کارمندای خود یک چیز را اعلان میکنیم میگیم که این را انجام بتیم برشان از ما میخوایم که فعالیت بهترین انجام بده هر چقدر که کارمند فعالیت بهترین انجام بده اونقدر ما انسنتیو برش بدیم فایده برش بدیم اما قدر او تشویق میشه و او تشویق باعثی میشه که اهداف اداره ما با وقت خودش میتونیم به دست بیاریم. So the need for incentive can be to increase productivity, to drive or arouse stimulus work, to enhance commitment in work performance, and the need for incentive can be to psychological satisfaction of a person, which leads to job satisfaction. This is important in order to shape the behavior or outlook of subordinate toward the works. Incentive is important to inculcate zeal and bring enthusiasm toward the works from employee side, and it is also important to incentive is needed and important to get maximum of their capabilities so that they are exploited and utilized maximally. So incentives are very important for the motivations in the motivation process, that peoples are being motivated, that finally they get a final result of what they are doing in the organizations. So as well as we have some types of incentive, like we have positive incentive. Positive incentive are those incentives which provide a positive assurance for fulfilling the needs and wants. Positive incentive generally have an optimistic attitudes behind, and they are generally given to satisfy the psychological requirements of employee. For example, promotion, praise, and allowance. It is positive by nature. یعنی پازیتیو بخاطری وقتی که یک انسان کارکردگی خوبتر و بهتر بکند ما به او مثلا پروموشن میدیم، ترقی میدیم در وظیفه، یا یک چیزی پول برایشان زیاد میکنیم، یا مثلا او را ستایش و تقدیرنامه میدیم، تقدیر میکنیم که این را ما پازیتیو انسنتیو میگیم. این بخاطر این هستند که ما یک نفر را تشویق شود توسط این و او بتانه کار درست انجام بده به خاطر هدف و دست آوردن هدفی داره و نیازمندی های خود را هم از او طریق پورا بکند. This is called positive incentive, while we are also having negative incentive as well. So are those whose purpose is to correct the mistake or defaults of employee. The purpose is to rectify the mistake in order to get effective result. Negative incentive is generally resorted to when positive incentive does not work and a psychological setback has to be given to employee. It is negative by nature. For example, demotion, transfer, fines and penalty. So negative incentive, it takes place when the person is not properly working for achieving of the organizational goals and achievement of the targets of the organization. A person is making a lot of mistake. For the rectification of mistake, for the purpose of to rectify the mistake, that in order to get the great result, for this purpose we give a negative negative incentive to the persons where the positive incentive does not work. We give a demotions to the persons. We are transferring the person, or we are fining the persons, or we are putting some pressure to bring some penalty over that person to give a punishment. This is all about the negative incentive that is being applied over the employee, that the employee does not do the next time this bad works. So this is all about the motivation. Motivation word is missing in our country. This is missing in our class. This word is missing in our university, in the administration. That is why so many problems, so many psychological issues being arising in the organizations, in the family matters, and outside the family, and that is leading to many problems, human problem in the society. So the missing word, that is motivation. Let us make it very common. Use this motivation word in every aspect of our life. Inshallah, we would not be having any bad situation, any bad condition in our life. So till then, Allah Hafiz, wish you all the best. If you have faced any problem in all these lectures, so let me know on the spot to give you the answer on the spot. Allah Hafiz, thank you very much for your time, patience and attention.